Welcome to Signs of the Times. Strange things are happening around the world, guys. Thank you so much for watching this End Times News channel. A massive thank you to my Patreons, my channel members, those of you who have been blessed enough to be able to make PayPal donations. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Thank you. Stay strong with everything that's been happening. You guys know what's been going on, but thank you. This channel will stay strong. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share the video. Sharing is huge. It really goes a long way on YouTube, so please share these videos anywhere you guys can. Facebook, etc., Twitter. It'd be awesome, guys. Thank you. Apocalyptic scenes. Wildfires consume Turkey. Wildfires have been ravaging Turkey's Mediterranean coast for the past few days, killing 4, burning thousands of building structures, and affecting more than a dozen provinces. This is happening everywhere, guys. Even in my country, it's so smoky outside, it's crazy. Turkish presidential spokesman Ibrahim Kalin called the wildfires a national disaster. According to Reuters, at least 60 wildfires have broken out across the country's Mediterranean and southern Asian region. Forestry Minister Parkamilian said 4,000 firefighters, 680 firefighting vehicles, 38 helicopters, 9 drones, and 3 planes battled the wildfires. We are hoping to contain some of the fires as of this morning, but we will say cautiously that we are improving. We still cannot say they are under control, Parkamilian said. Hard name to pronounce. DW correspondent Julia Hahn tweeted scenes from Managgat in Antalya province showing apocalyptic scenes of one wildfire. Go to Twitter, check out Julia Hahn, guys. There's still no word how the destructive fires began, but one government says sabotage cannot be ruled out. Farhittin Altan, the Turkish presidential communications director, said comprehensive investigations are being launched into the origins of the wildfires. Those responsible will have to be accounted for the attacks against nature and forests, Alton tweeted. Turkey has been plagued with a heat wave like much of the southeast Europe. Sorry if you hear a little background noise, it's hot here, I got my air conditioner on too. In neighboring Greece, authorities warned the public against the heightened risk of wildfires during the latest heat wave. A difficult weather phenomenon is coming in the next days with extremely high temperatures and several days of heat wave, Citizens Protection Minister Makalis Krishalias said. I urge everyone to show the highest degree of responsibility and cooperation. This summer has been absolute chaos across the world. Heat waves in the US and Europe, Canada, cold snaps in South America, and floods in Europe and China give climate alarmist Greta Thunberg ammunition to tweet climate disasters propaganda of how the world is ending unless governments act now. UK on red alert as Russia and China posing daily threat from space with reckless behaviour. Both Russia and China are regularly engaging in reckless behaviour in space, bringing with it the risk of future devastating conflict, senior British military commanders have warned. Air Chief Marshal Sir Mike Wigson fears future wars will be won and lost in the heavens, with General Sir Patrick Sanders, the head of Britain's Strategic Command, predicting dire consequences for civilians and soldiers alike. Sir Mike, speaking at the launch of Space Command and RAF High Wycombe yesterday, said reckless behavior from the two superpowers was being witnessed several times a year. In addition, questionable behavior, including flying satellites close to others, as well as being noted on a daily basis. Sir Mike said Russia had in the last year deployed a combination of satellites which we would describe as having the characteristics of a weapon, and they practice a maneuver that we would say could only have been done to deliberately destroy another satellite. China, meanwhile, was developing anti-satellite technology ranging from missiles that directly jam satellites, laser dazzle weapons, electronic jamming, and even physical jamming, with Beijing used the country's own redundant satellites for target practice, he added. If we don't think and prepare for that day, then we won't be ready when the time comes. Sir Patrick, emphasized the risks, stressing that while the UK's satellite infrastructure provided critical capabilities to the military, it also enabled technology which we all know and recognize on our mobile phones to the technology that enables us to navigate the carrier strike group around the globe. Xi Jinping's crackdown sparks record-breaking exodus from China. Over 500,000 flee. Xi Jinping's brutal rule in China has sparked a mass exodus, according to a report, after more than 500,000 Chinese nationals flee the country. Xi Jinping's reign of oppression in China has prompted a great exodus from the country. Sorry, my animals are making noise. I'm sorry, guys. The latest data from the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, shows that 613,000 Chinese nationalists have applied for asylum since Mr. Xi took control in 2012. Wyon's Pakali Shamara said that Chinese people fear that if you are deemed a threat to the regime, the state will go after you. She continued, the Chinese people are fleeing the country. They are seeking asylum in democratic nations. More than 600,000 Chinese citizens since Xi Jinping came to power. This is definitely a great exodus. Since Xi took over, the number of annual asylum seekers from China has risen by more than 6 times. Xi Jinping has ruled over China with an iron fist. At least 1 million Uyghur Muslims have been detained in mass jails, or what Beijing calls re-education camps. The Wyon report revealed that no one is immune from the state's heavy hand, including billionaires. This comes after Sun Dewan, who runs one of the country's largest private agriculture businesses, was sentenced to 18 years in prison. The agriculture mogul was found guilty of picking quarrels and provoking trouble, a charge often used against dissidents and activists. The prominent Chinese billionaire's sentence marks just the latest in a string of punishment against outspoken corrupt bosses. Major technology companies including Alibaba, Didi, and Tencent also face investigations for a range of regulatory issues. Between 2012 and 2020, the annual number of asylum seekers from China rose from 15,362 to 107,864, per the UNHCR's report. About 70% of those who fled China in 2020 have sought asylum in the US. Ms. Sharma also noted the Chinese state was tightening its grip on the tech sector as part of its next phase in a sweeping crackdown on Chinese citizens. Lapid, we must never remain silent in the face of Iranian terrorism. Foreign Minister responds to attack on Israeli-managed ship near Oman. Iran is not just an Israeli problem, but an exporter of terrorism, destruction, and instability. Foreign Minister Yair Lapid responded on Friday to the attack on an Israeli-managed ship near Oman, in which 2 people were killed. Iran is not just an Israeli problem, but an exporter of terrorism, destruction, and instability that harms us all. We must never remain silent in the face of Iranian terrorism, which also harms freedom of navigation, said Lapid. I am in constant contact with British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab. I mentioned to him tonight that need to respond severely to the attack on the ship in which a British citizen was killed, he added. Foreign Minister Yair Lapid responded on Friday to the attack on an Israeli-managed ship near Oman in which 2 people were killed. So again, he says Iran is not just an Israeli problem, but it's an exporter of terrorism and destruction and instability that harms us all. We must never remain silent in the face of terrorism, which I agree, and it does harm everybody in the world. So he goes on to say he's in constant contact with the British Foreign Secretary. He mentions a need for severe response to the situation on the ship. In addition, I instructed the embassies in Washington, London, and the United Nations to work with their colleagues in the administration and the relevant delegations at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Earlier on Friday, Defense Minister Benny Gantz and IDF Chief of Staff Aviv Kavishi held a secretary consultation following the attack on the ship. An Israeli official commented on the attack on the ship and said Iran is sowing violence and destruction in every corner of the region. Out of eagerness to attack an Israeli target, they have complicated and incriminated themselves by killing foreign civilians. The masks are coming off, and it's impossible to pretend that the nature of the Iranian regime is unknown. Iran is not just a problem of Israel, it is a global problem, and its behavior endangers global shipping and trade. Our campaign against them will continue, the source added. Zodiac Maritime, the Israeli company that manages the ship, attacked off the coast of Oman, confirmed early on Friday that 2 individuals on board have died due to the attack. 2 crew members, one a Romanian citizen and the other a British citizen, died from their wounds shortly after the attack, the company stated. From preliminary reports, the attack was carried out by an unmanned aircraft. The vessel is reportedly a Japanese tanker named MT Mercer Street. It was sailing from Tunisia to the UAE without a cargo when it was reportedly set upon by pirates. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please remember to subscribe, share, and like, and God bless you all and your loved ones.